Както и в живота, така и в дигиталния свят хакерите са два вида – черни и бели. Приликата е, че основната им цел е да разбият киберзащитите на дадена система и да достигнат до данните в нея. Разликите са, че едните злоупотребяват с информацията за лична облага, а другите използват наученото, за да подобрят компютърната защита и да направят системата по-устойчива срещу всякакъв вид злонамерено проникване.
We have to start from the position of values, really, and what the European Union is. And for me, it's a union of people. And so we have to act in the best interests of the citizens. For me, that's really important. And I think we have to promote the use of the internet for the common good. I'm very active with the European Internet Forum, which is digital. It's political advocacy for the digital age, and that means that we engage with a lot of different stakeholders. And I see my role there as to always be speaking up for citizens, to be speaking up for vulnerable people, to be speaking up for people in less developed countries, to be speaking up for artists, you know, for if you like, for that wider group, and and to make sure that the large companies, the global corporations, are not going to be are not going to have so much kind of influence and power. So I think, you know, but it's a battle, it's a fight, and progress, if you like. I mean, I suppose what's happened is that with the digital information society, what we've discovered is that it's full of innovators, it's full of hackers, it's full of creative people, it's full of geeks, it's full of people who are all the time, you know, several steps ahead of where we are. So as legislators, so I think we have to do things with the community. It's not good enough for us to be making policy or legislation if we're not talking to everybody. One of the key events that the Parliament attends every year, and the EU delegation is a very significant delegation, is to the Internet Governance Forum. I'd never heard about Internet governance, and as a member of the Culture and Education Committee, I was asked to be a delegate. And to represent my political group. And I have become geeky about internet governance. I've realised that it's more important than knowing how these things work, okay? Who is in control, who's in charge of it, the transparency around that, making sure that all the stakeholders are at the table, recognising innovation, and trying to have some ethical policies around that is really important. So I've been very, very active in the field of internet governance now, having been to 2 IGFs, but I'm particularly supportive and an advocate for the youth IGF, and I think that is where things, for me, that is where innovation, where change will really be happening, I think. And, you know, young people are coming up to be the new leaders of the future. So working with youth in the IGF, I think, is where we can make a real difference. I'm involved in a working group on digital, so and we're already right now, looking at asking Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, you know, to come here to the European Parliament to give an account of what have they been doing and to answer questions. I'm particularly concerned about what's been happening with democracy. For me, you know, the Brexit vote is partly a result of our democracy being hijacked by these by data mining, data harvesting, and by you know, by this messaging, this kind of subtle but insidious messaging on social media, and direct targeting as well, psycho profiling of people. So I think it's very important that we look at how influential all these companies can be when they have no ethics, no morality, and we have to. People need to have digital literacy. It's not enough now that we are just literate, in terms of reading and writing, or in terms of numbers and numeracy, or even in media literacy, which I've been talking about for a very long time. We have to also be digitally literate, and we have to be curious. We have to ask lots of questions. And I think all this actually is also part of citizenship for me. It's about, if you are a citizen of a country, a state, but also a union, as the European Union, you have to start learning at a very, very young age about what it means to be a citizen. And you have to have all the different tools at your disposal, and you have to understand what the limits are, I suppose, and how also to be active in the society that is shaping the use of that in the future. So I don't see things in silos. For me, we have to join up all these dots.